Okay, since we're showing shirts.
Your bottom.
Yeah, it's not working. Okay, wait, it's this way. All right, you know what? I will have to snap a picture and show you, but it's a My Blog Guest shirt. You'll just have to
All right.
take my word for it.
All right.
What?
You don't say this. The article reads as though it's written by an 8-year-old. You say the article lacks structure and the sentences are somewhat immature.
There you go, guys. Phil's the person to go to be able to translate things into, like, I don't know, politically correct or whatever the terminology is in Britain. Right?
People seem to refuse the articles very often because there are more than one link, and the blogger makes the assumption that the article, that all the links are self-serving, when they're not. Think of it as a dating site where you have to. The date only works if it's right for both people. Interaction could be compared with the chat process that goes on a dating site. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but the chat is unavoidable as part of sort of the relationship development process. The other thing is that each offer needs to be unique. At one time, I used to make offers which were copied and pasted, yeah, and I got some success. But I then moved to making unique offers, where I would actually I would mention the post. If, for example, it was a post about green energy, I would mention green energy, and how relevant it was on my site.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. And another thing making an offer I see people not doing is take a minute to check out that article you're making an offer on. For instance, look at the links. And if you're not happy with the links, then either don't make an offer or get in touch with the writer and discuss that. The whole idea of knowing as a publisher that you're not obligated to accept everything as it is. That's the starting point. There's a negotiation process that can go on, but again, out of courtesy, I should really take a look at the article up front before I make an offer, and I should make sure there's nothing glaring about it that isn't going to work for me. And Phil talks a lot about this in his blog and his work. But what can I give? What's going on? And it's a two-way thing. I want to help because I'm building that relationship. So if I help that author and that author helps me and I like the way they write, he or she writes, then I can follow them. And then I'm alerted when anything else comes out by them. And I can start forging those relationships. And before you know it, I've got maybe half a dozen or a dozen favorite writers that when I see their stuff out, I already know they do the kind of work I like. I can be alerted by way of the My Blog Guest internal system.
In reality, we're getting every day requests for guest articles. And all those requests for guest article is basically somebody from whoever in the world. Most of them are not in the United States. They want to push an article on the topic that they want to push, and basically to push a link advertising some site which has nothing to do with our topics. And when you start to have dialogue with them and tell them, look, I'm going to take you on board if you're going to write at least once a month, you have this dialogue of email for like 3 weeks, exchanging like 10 emails, and they don't get it. Yeah? So I'm wasting a lot of time discussing with these people that that's not what we're looking. We're looking for quality. If you want to, look, we have 12,000 readers a month, yeah? So, and a huge exposure. And Phil can tell you from the comments that his article got, the quality of responses. So I'm not going to put an article just because to advertise somebody's link. If you don't tell me who you are, if you don't give me a short one-paragraph bio, I'm not going to do business with you.
Yeah, well, that's good, and you're a good publisher, and we love having great publishers on My Blog Guest.
How many people in the My Blog Guest have a profile that say who they are?
We have been tightening up a lot on the exact match links, and this is something which a lot of people are having problems with. Basically, Google has said that any attempt to manipulate search engine results is bad news. And if you, for example, want to link using the anchor text SEO expert, then you are obviously trying to rank for that term. The poor blogger whose blog your article goes onto is likely to get delisted from Google, so his views will go right down, his income will go right down, and the your client's site is also likely to be hit by the same principle. That now no one is going to search for a pretty SEO expert, but so that would be fine. Or if you put an SEO expert over 30, again, nobody's going to search for that. So we would, that's not an exact match link, but it's still keyword rich. But at the moment, My Blog Guest will allow keyword rich links, but not exact match ones.
To select an article, a title for an article, and a proper question to lead to a discussion.
Yeah, I think really titles is another topic we're going to revisit soon in the mastermind discussion. Michael, you're absolutely right. That's absolutely important. Along with the good content, along with the good organization, I might add some photographs that you have rights to. And folks, let me be clear on something. Because you take a screenshot of someone else's photograph, that does not make you the owner of it. And it's amazing how many people think, well, I took the photo with a screenshot. Well, I'm sorry, but that doesn't qualify you as the owner now of the photograph. And then with linking, a good article is going to have linking that is absolutely relative to the article. Don't write an article about shoe repair and then try to link it to vacations in Tahiti, unless you're talking about people in Tahiti and how they don't wear shoes or whatever in your article. Make it relative. And another thing is, don't make the best self-serving link, and I don't even like that word really, self-serving, but that's what we call it. But the best links in your article are going to be the ones that are absolutely don't appear to be self-serving.
Exactly, and it comes right back. It's funny. I can hear you, Michael. See, I hear you saying it comes back to quality too.
Yep. Every article should actually say something that's worth listening to.
Yeah.
I mean, I must read 100 or more articles every day, and I think 2 or 3 of them I would actually remember. That they were actually worth reading.
David Faltz.
Quality. I was thinking of David, yeah.
Yeah, the discussion. You go ahead, Phil. You go ahead.
No, Don, you go. You probably say better than me.
David Faltz and I had a discussion about this very thing because, David has an agency and he has a lot of writers and a lot of articles and does good work. So David said that one thing he's begun doing, because here's what, if you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes, here are these clients that come to the agency, and they say, okay, here's the sites we want linked to, and here's the anchor text we want used. End of story. That's your assignment. So there's no wiggle room. So David says he's learning to, just push back on those guys and go, hey, here's the reality of the picture. So there's education that has to happen all the way through for the writers, for the publishers, for everybody needs to be educated.
If you want to hear some of what David talks about, you can actually go to the My Blog Guest YouTube channel, and you can watch September's Hangout, and you'll see a lot of what David has to share as far as SEO thoughts on that one. And the thing I respect is that he's totally SEO as far as knowledgeable in SEO. He's got the quality. He's got the best interest of the client, he's just quality. You got to hear what he has to say on that one, so good point.
Yep.